Well, it's been exactly a year that I did do a video on how to set up your own smart home hub using an Argin 1 case that was completely dedicated to Apple HomeKit. Now that was built on a budget and it was DIY. Now a year later, I've literally learned a lot of things on how to simplify the process and to make it a lot more manageable. So in this video, it's all about taking that same DIY smart home hub to the next level with Apple HomeKit. Anyways, if you're into smart home DIY and obviously love the Apple HomeKit ecosystem, then I've done tons of Homebridge tutorial videos that you can literally use right now. So pretty please, do take a look and don't feel shy to like, share and subscribe to always follow along and to get that good karma. So lots of smart home owners do rely on smart home companies to use their proprietary smart home hubs which power their smart homes. However, a couple of months back, lights went out for Instant. And remember that company called Wink? They literally don't have any trace online. Now, that's pretty frustrating for any homeowner who own or has owned those proprietary smart home hubs. Now, on the other side, for us, the smart home DIYers, nothing changed for us and our smart homes are continuously evolving with all of that available open source systems. So if you're on the fence to take the jump and to start using smart home DIY of things, especially considering Apple HomeKit, fear not, because Homebridge will bridge that gap and it is a simple, fantastic system to begin with. Plus, with my magical single installation script, it's going to be a lot more easier. So this is what we're going to get from this smart home hub build. A locally controlled small form factor hub, hardware specs that will last for at least 5 years or more, allows to add devices that even Apple doesn't support officially. You will also get multi-network protocol that allows you to add a plethora of devices from a large portfolio. You will also get dedicated HomeKit Secure video platform to add any RTSP camera. You can easily manage and auto-update all of the applications. It comes with an easy shortcut app to access all of those applications, and most importantly, the same hardware can unlock a lot of more possibilities for your smart home, and it also keeps you within budget. So for all of this to work and to get all of these goodies, this is how we're going to piece the hub together. At a minimum, you will require a Raspberry Pi 4 with a 2 GB. Now I will be using the 4 GB variant. You will also need a class 10 32 GB SD card. I will be also using the same. Then you will also need your own choice of a Raspberry Pi case. I will be using an Argin 1. For the Zigbee support, I will be using a Sonos Zigbee dongle, and you can use your own Zigbee dongle or even a Conbit 2 stick. Plus you'll also need a USB cable extension. As always, I've broken down the video into 8 parts with their timestamps in the description. Quickly we're going to do a Homebridge install. From there, we're going to execute the magic command to get all of those apps installed automatically. Then we will also do the Portainer configuration for app management. Then we will go ahead and configure the Zigbee2MQTT plus add a device. Then we will look at integrating Homebridge with HomeKit. And then from there, we will also go add in a Yscam to get that Homebridge secure video support using scrypted. Then we will also look at Heimdall to get the shortcut app. And then lastly, we'll look at also how to auto update all of the applications. Now, this is a build that is full of features and it's going to be an interesting one. So let's not waste any time and let's jump into this tutorial. Installing Homebridge has never been so easy. All you have to do is access this website to download the Raspberry Pi imager. I have the link in the description. And depending on your platform, be it a Mac or a Windows, go ahead and download this application. And once that's downloaded, go ahead and open it. All you have to do is click on choose OS, scroll all the way down to other specific purpose OS, select Home Assistant and Home Automation, scroll all the way down to Homebridge, select the image. Now right now you want to go in and use an SD card adapter and insert the SD card and insert into your computer. If you have an SD card reader, you can insert the micro SD card. As is, choose storage, click on it and click on write. Click on yes and you'll be prompted for the password. Go ahead and click OK and give it a couple of minutes for it to download the image and write it on the micro SD card. Now remember, it will take between 3 to 5 minutes for the whole process to get over. Once the process is completed, you will see a successful message. Click on OK, remove the micro SD card, insert it into the Raspberry Pi, and then you want to go ahead and close the box. And then from there, you want to go ahead and install the Ethernet cable. Then you want to go ahead and install the USB cable extension that's already connected to your preferred Zigbee dongle. Mine's connected to the Sonoff. And then from there, you want to go ahead and install the power supply and power up the device. Now give it for between 15 to 30 seconds since it's powering it for the first time to load the web UI. Now once the device is powered up, give it between 30 seconds for it to power up, and then from there you want to access the IP address, or you want to go ahead and type in homebridge.local 8581 with port 8581. But if you don't have the IP address, there are two applications to use. If you're using Mac, you can use LANScan, or if you're using a PC, you can go ahead and download this advanced IP scanner to get the IP address. So in my case, I've got LANScan, so I'm going to open LANScan. Going to click on this button here, and it will scan my entire network for the available IP addresses assigned. So in my case is 86.2. Now I'm going to go ahead and open up a new tab, type in the IP address with port 8581. Now this is the dashboard to get you started from the web here. It's that easy to install Homebridge. You want to go ahead and click on get started. You want to go ahead and create a username and password. Click on create account. Open dashboard. It's that easy to have Homebridge installed on this Raspberry Pi. Now, if you want any other plugin tutorial videos, you can go and access them and add those devices. Let me know in the description how easy you found it to install Homebridge on a Raspberry Pi. Now with Homebridge setup, what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and install all of those applications using the magical script. Very simple. So let's access that web page, and here is that magical script. So what I'm doing over here is, instead of adding the applications separately within the Homebridge environment, we're going to go and install Docker and let Docker manage all of the containers within it, where each container represents an application. Now with this, what happens is Docker is able to distribute the hardware resources depending who needs it and when it's needed, so it doesn't impact Homebridge's overall performance. So what we're going to do is first go ahead and update the entire system packages of Homebridge, that is the Linux, and then from there we're going to go ahead and install Docker, and then from there we're going to install Portainer, which is a graphical representation of all the Dockers and using port 9000. So after every package is installed, you will see a port to access it. Instead of homebridge.local, you can even use the IP address of the hub. Then from there, we'll go and install Watchtower. With Watchtower, it automatically updates all of the updates on a daily basis. So if the developer pushes out an update, Watchtower will scan it on a daily basis and update your packages. So this eliminates of you doing it manually. Then from there, we will go and install MQTT, because this is very important to connect with your Zigbee2MQTT network. And then we will go and install Zigbee2MQTT. Now, Zigbee2MQTT is one place you will go and need to configure additionally to tell which hub is being used on which port. So right now I'm using the port that's typically used for Conb, and in the configure.yml I've gone and added the port for the Sonoff. So we will go and see how we go and update all of them correctly. And then from there, to get that HomeKit Secure video for any RTSP camera, I'll go ahead and install scrypted. And then with so many applications already installed, it is a bit difficult to go and remember the port, the address. So Heimdall simplifies that for you to create those quick web shortcuts and access all of your applications or even websites. And then from there, once the application is installed, it's going to reboot on its own. So very simple. What we're going to do is going to access terminal. We're going to SSH into the server. And all we're going to do is copy this command. So I've also left this command in the description. Copy, paste. And from this moment, it's going to take between 8 to 12 minutes depending on the internet connection. It's a good time to have a coffee or even a chill beer. So I'll just go ahead and hit enter. Now once the installation is complete, it will go ahead and reboot automatically. Now To make sure that all of the applications have been installed, let's go ahead and access Portainer, which is a graphical representation of all of the applications. So the port is 9000, the IP addresses of your hub. Now, when you access for the first time Portainer, you are asked to create a username and password. The password is 12 characters. And we're going to click on Get Started. And we're going to click on Local Containers. So right now, all of these applications have been installed. The only one that's not installed is Zigbee2MQTT. Like I said, you have to go and update the port information for the Zigbee dongle that you've been using. Other than right now, all of these can be accessed and they're running on the same server. Now, what I want to highlight over before we go into Zigbee2MQTT, if we access Homebridge, you see that using the 4 GB variant, there's still a lot more memory that the applications can use. So this makes it a lot more useful when you want to get the optimal performance. Now what we're going to do from here is, we know that the application have been installed. The next one is to go and configure Zigbee2MQTT and have it running and access the front end. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to first click on Zigbee2MQTT, and we want to go and update the port information. So I'm going to click on Duplicate Edit, and I'm going to go all the way down to Runtime and Resources. So these are the values we are looking to update, the host and the container. Now, right here, the information is for a Conb 2 stick, but we're using a Sonoff, and I've got the Conb 2 stick over here. So let's go first and open up terminal. Let's SSH. So to get the port information, it's very simple. You want to go to Zigbee2MQTT site, Get Started, Installation, Linux, and you want to copy paste this command. So right now the Sonoff Zigbee is at port, this is the port information, so we're going to copy this. And what we're going to do first is, let's go and update the configuration.yml file, and then we'll go and update the container and restart everything. So to locate the configuration.yml file, let's type ls. We're going to change directory to data, ls, and we're going to type in sudo nano con and type the tab, and it'll automatically populate the information. Type enter. And over here, what we're going to do is, we're going to first update the MQTT information where it's installed in this hub over here. So the IP is 86.2, and the port, if you're using Conb 2 stick, the port information would be this one. But since we're using the Sonoff, that information is already over here. So what we're going to do is, we're going to delete that information. I'm just going to copy this whole line. And before we go down, we also one more information we need to update is the front end. So I'm using the front end port is 8081. You can use whatever's available. And then the host will be the IP address of the hub .2. That's about it. Now we can save. Control X, Y. Yes. Now with the configuration.yml saved, let's go now and update the host information. Control V, and also the container information. Once that is done, you want to scroll up and we're going to click on deploy the container. Click on replace. Now what we're going to do is, we're just going to click on the log section just to make sure it's up and running. So it is a success. It has been configured correctly by updating the port information. And now it says the front end has started on this IP address. So let's click and add this. So the port is 8081. So there we have Zigbee2MQTT up and running right now. Now, just to make sure the dongle is working, let's go ahead and add my favorite Sonoff device that we have this for the last 4 years. So I'm just going to turn it on, put it into pairing mode. And you'll see that there's a blue light blinking. So it's gone into pairing mode. And you see that the Zigbee2MQTT has picked it up. I will quickly go and rename it. And I will call this Sonoff. Rename device. So it's that simple. We've got Zigbee2MQTT running. Now let's integrate this into Homebridge. I will go to Homebridge, go to plugins, look for Z2M, install. I'm going to go ahead and update the localhost for MQTT, which is the hub IP address .2. And that's about it. Now, before saving, you just want to go and cancel any additional configuration. You want to click on save, and restart the service. Once the service is restarted, you can see that it's connected to the MQTT server successfully and is able to publish the device. So if I go to accessories, as you see the sewn off accessory, I can turn it on, turn it off. Now, just by using Docker, Zigbee2MQTT has been a lot more simplified setup, so it reduces the amount of commands you have to run manually and populate any information manually. So what we're going to do right now is I'm just going to add this and complete the integration with Apple HomeKit. So I'm going to open up the Apple Home app. I'm going to select this new home called like and subscribe. So don't forget to like and subscribe. And then I'm going to tap on the plus sign, add accessory, and I'm going to scan the QR code. Add to home, add anyway, could be anyway, Homebridge, continue, sewn off. So you select the location, sewn off, and you can select what to be displayed as. So I'll leave it as a switch, continue, done. So if I go to the room, you can turn it on, turn it off. So with this, we've completed the integration of Zigbee2MQTT to Homebridge and Homebridge to HomeKit successfully. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead right now and add in this voice cam into scrypted to get that HomeKit Secure video for any RTSP camera. So it's very simple. So what we're going to do is go to Portainer and you will go to dashboard. We already have it up and running. That's here. So you use the IP address of the hub and the port is 10443. So 10443. I'm going to type on show details, visit the website. I'm going to go ahead and create a username and password. Now to add this cam to to scrypted, all you have to do is go and install two plugins. So you're going to look for HomeKit install. You go to plugins and we're going to look for RTSP install. Then what you're going to do is go and click on add device and you're going to call this device as voice, create. And now we're going to populate all of the information to access the feed using the RTSP link. So we're going to go ahead and add in the username. Every value you input, you have to click on the green button, the password, and then the RTSP stream. So if you were using the camera UI.plugin or the camera FFmpeg plugin, this whole parameter is one line, the username, password, and the RTSP link. In scrypted, you have to break down into three. Now, once you populate the RTSP URL, you want to click on save RTSP stream URL. Now at this point, you want to give it a couple of seconds to go and locate the camera. Now, if you don't see the camera being located, what you could do is go to settings and you can restart scrypted. Plugins, click on RTSP, voice, and see that the cam is right here. So it should take some time to locate the feed. So that's here. So it's picked up the feed, it's working. And now what you want to do is you want to go to advanced, you want to leave it as it is. So you use the TCP data transmission control protocol, stream management, don't change anything, leave the information as is. Then you want to go to HomeKit. So you want to leave it as it is. You want to go to HomeKit parent, leave it as it is. But here's the trick. You want to go to integration and extensions. You want to enable HomeKit Secure Video local copy, and you want to enable this motion detection. So once that is done, so these are the features already applied to this camera. And then I'm just going to go to settings and I'm going to restart the console again. Go to plugins. I go to HomeKit. And now I'm just going to add it into my home. So I'm going to tap on the plus sign, add accessory, and I'm going to scan the QR code. Add to home, add anyway, select the bridge location, the bridge name, continue. So here's the voice cam already located. Tap on continue. I'm going to keep it in the bedroom as well. Camera name. So right now, give it a couple of seconds for it to load. And then now if I access the camera over here and if I tap on the settings, you'll see that the HomeKit Secure Video option has been enabled. So you have the recording options, you have the facial recognition, and you also got the accessory sensor enabled. So it's showing me it's already triggered, so it is functioning. Now let's go and access the quick shortcuts to access all of these applications. So that is Heimdall. What we're going to do is the IP address is that of your hub, and the port is 8201, which I have left in the description over here. And what Heimdall does is you can create shortcuts to all of these applications you just installed. So it makes it a lot more easier. You don't have to remember anything. So all you have to do is click on this icon down below, and all you have to is add in an application. So in this case is application type. Let's look for Homebridge, and we can put in the URL from here. If you want, you can upload an icon. You can give it a username and password that you had created. Click on test. See communicated. Save. Not now. That's it. So let me close this Homebridge. That's about it. So I'll go ahead and do it for the rest. So it's that simple. I've just created this 4 shortcuts. So if I just close up all the previous windows in Homebridge, Zigbee2MQTT, scripted, and just like that, we finally set up a smart home hub that's totally DIY and works perfectly with HomeKit. It has a small form factor. It's got these fantastic hardware specs. You can add any device that even Apple doesn't officially support. You can add in any RTSP camera that is not supported by HomeKit Secure Video. You can go and manage all of your applications and do all of that. But there's one more missing. If you go and check within Portainer, there's also one more called Watchtower. So Watchtower, there's no web UI. All it does is on a daily basis checks all the Docker repositories, and if there's any update, it automatically downloads it and updates your Docker containers. Now, if you go to images, right now there are none any downloaded or updated. If you see any one, you will see them as unused. So these were the previous packages which you can go and delete. You can just select it and click on remove. So it's that easy with all we have done. Now let me know in the comment section if there's anything that I can help you, and let me know if you have followed this tutorial, if it's been easy and helpful for you. And I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe. Have a nice day. Cheers.